think for us, with the new atmosphere, new coaching, everything is just absolutely new. It feels really good. It feels fresh. It's kind of like when you take your clothes out the dryer, kind of like fresh. It feels different, and it feels good because we have new leadership, we got new players, we got vet leadership, and so I think all that combined just makes for a good atmosphere right now. It feels good.
How does that help you guys elevate even more for the players who are returning?
It makes it easier. I remember this time last year, it didn't feel good. So we had to get that in order first in order for people to start playing well. It's like the domino effect. But I think once your culture is kind of established, how you guys see it now, I think it makes everything else way easier. I don't know if that makes sense, but way easier.
It makes sense.
What's it been like adjusting to Stephanie White and I guess that culture you're talking about?
Oh, man. I have nothing but great things to say about Stephanie. From the time I was in China playing and her trying to get me back here, and the leadership that she took to make sure I felt welcome and felt safe coming back and playing under her. She's done an unbelievable job with all of us one by one and making sure we all feel different but in a good way. And I think with her leadership along with the assistant coaches, we've already cultivated how we want to play, and so that already feels good as a player coming from Stephanie. Up tempo, fast. Obviously, how me, C Squared, all those guys are. But I think when we cultivate DB and your older ones in it, I think we're gonna have more of a winning culture and not just playing fast. So now we get the best of both worlds.
Kelsey, I hear the word about kind of giving some grace in the
Yeah.
How do you balance keeping things intense early to recognizing that y'all are still figuring each other out?
Culture, and I think once you establish the respect in the room. The environment is always is value with that. I think those days that are tough that you do have to give your grace for, it's respect behind it. We don't expect perfection right now, but we do expect discipline and we expect hard work. So if we could cultivate that and then give ourselves some grace when it's time to go win games, I think we will.
Is that element a little different because you brought some women in
Yeah.
a lot of experience?
Yeah, it is.
Championship culture that's coming.
Yeah, I think that your DBs, your Sophies, and even like Sid, it's like a wild card because they won and they know it on different levels. You got to think Sid Colson was maybe started on the bench but had to go get minutes, and she won a championship. And then it was the same with Natasha Howard. It's the same with DB. So we get a different leadership of vets that came. It's going to teach us how to win. So it's pretty fun.
What has stood out to you about the attitude and focus as you try to set the tone for
Yeah.
the season?
I think the best part right now is everyone wants to be here. It's really downplayed. It sounds cliche, but it's nothing like being where you want it and everybody feels value in order to go have a good training camp, have a good preseason, so you can have a good first game when the season starts. But I think right now it's just that good feeling of everybody feel like, hey, I want to be here and I want to compete. So I think that's the first step.
Kelsey, Stephanie said in an event this weekend that this is the best talent
Yeah.
wise of a roster that she's ever seen.
Right.
How do you what's your opinion on that? Do you agree with her?
I do. I think that we have every kind of player in this league. And I don't know if you guys watch the OKCs or the Houston Rockets. They have so many, even our Pacers guys. Like our guys do a really good job of everyone have a different effect and a different demand on the game. And I think that talent cultivated in one room, we make ourselves really, really, really now unstoppable if we want to be. And I think it makes for a great team.
On that note, have you guys, this is a team that can contend for a championship. Have
Yeah.
you guys explicitly talked about that yet, or is it so focused on the early days of training camp?
I think that we've already foresaw as players how it's supposed to look. But it's different once you get in it and you gotta know people, and I don't know you and you don't know me, so I gotta get to know you and I gotta get to know you, and so together it just takes some time. I think that chemistry and that level right now is just really, we have to establish that in order for us to win games. And I think that's the most important right now in training camp.
Kelsey, you mentioned chemistry.
Yeah.
Obviously, you and Caitlin doing this year too.
Yeah.
How is it like, I guess, hitting the ground running versus trying to figure out how to play with each other last year?
It actually doesn't feel different. From the moment I met Caitlin and the moment she met me, like I said, when you respect your teammates and respect as competitors, it makes for a better relationship. It makes for a better dynamic, and I think that me and C Square established that 2 years ago now. So I think everything with us is going to always be kosher and really put together because we've already established who we were as people and as players and how we can help make each other better. So it feels good to me already.
How do you think Caitlin has changed from your rookie year to?
I think their strength, for one, is always, from a physical standpoint, her strength and her ability to now make plays that people don't think about. Whether it's that skip to skip, I mean, a person of her caliber, it seems small, but it's going to make her go from having 25 to having 28 or 10 assists to 12 assists. So, for one, her strength, and then after that, professional, learning, watching film, knowing what you need. And I think that's going to take time for her specifically, but the rest is for her is already in the bag. I think strength is always going to be a main thing for her, though.
Kelsey, how much better prepared do you feel like the five of you are
Yeah.
to embrace, you know exactly what you're getting with the noise and the crowd?
Yeah.
And how do you also prepare everybody else for what's to come?
Ooh, I think that mix of leadership that we have from your DBs, so Tosh Howard and Sid, it's going to help ease things out based on the people that's coming around to see us. But I also think that it do helps us. Let me say this. Before we got here a month ago, we were all coming in. We would come from our respective homes to establish that already. And so I think that 5, we've established that like 2 or 3 weeks ago. It might have been open run, it might have just working out, but we've already kickstarted how we want to play in here so we could do it here.
For you now, the second training camp, year one.
Well, I think the biggest benefit, obviously there's the aspect of having a new coach and a lot of new teammates. So in that regard, like it's still a learning process and trying to figure your teammates out and figure out the new system. But the pace and the physicality and all of that, you're used to it, you're ready for it, you're ready for at the speed of how things are going to move. I think that having that under your belt is kind of what's helped me the most here. But at the same time, like it's a learning process for all of us. There's, most of the team here and most of the girls here are new players. So and the ones that have come back, new coach, we're just trying to learn in the same way and build relationships with our teammates. So similar in that regard, but at the same time, having a year under my belt is really helpful.
Did you feel that photo of your arm go viral last month?
Yeah.
How much stronger do you feel kind of coming into training camp?
Yeah, I mean, that was like my biggest focus in the off season is just trying to get stronger and really working on that. And really thankful for Sarah, our strength and conditioning coach, like put in a lot of time with me. And we were in here consistently. Like I think that was the biggest thing for myself is just having that consistency to be able to work on it for 6 months or whatever it was. So I certainly feel a lot stronger and, I'm a pretty self-aware person. I knew that was going to be a huge part of it. And it's going to help me offensively, it's going to help me defensively, it's going to help me not get as tired throughout games. So yeah, definitely one of the focus points of my off season is just getting stronger and even through these 2 practices, like I can certainly feel it.
How was it like going 7 months without having any basketball responsibilities, and how do you think you'll be better off this season because of a significant layoff?
Yeah, I mean, it was an adjustment for sure. Like I was so used to playing basketball for basically a year of my life. That's all I did, so the rest was certainly great. And I thought it was going to feel long. It really didn't. It felt really short. Like we played a lot of pickup. We were in here all the time. I was in here with Keith all the time. Had teammates coming in and out all off season working with me and wanting to get better. So like I said, I thought it would feel kind of long and drag a little bit, but it goes way quicker than you think. But that rest aspect for myself, just getting my body where it needed to be and really working on things that I needed to work on was super important. But I'm ready to compete again, so I'm excited.
What about my mental?
When DeWanna signed with the team, she said at this point in her career she's playing for championships and obviously a championship experience with those veterans they brought in. How much does that get add to the culture or just what it takes to win the power?
Yeah, I mean, DB has been tremendous. Like she's such a selfless leader. Like she's here to win. She says that, but she like really means it, and she leads in that example every single day. Like we were just sitting over there talking after today, like just talking about practice and things we need to work on, things that went well, things that everybody knows we have so much talent, but at the same time, like you got to put that together. It's not going to be like, all right, you have all these great players, you step out on the court, it's going to work. Like it's going to take a little bit of time to figure things out, figure out how everybody works with one another. So DB's been tremendous, and obviously, not only as a leader, she's a tremendous basketball player too, and she's won championships. She knows what it is. So when she speaks, everybody listens. So I think that was a piece of the thing we were missing last year. Is like we didn't really have that inside of our locker room. So just really grateful for that, and just the way she talks and she leads. Like for me as a second-year point guard, like I want to win for her. Like this is the end of her career. Like she deserves it.
You have a lot of alpha personalities on this team. How is everybody kind of finding their space to then also be a listener though when the time is right?
Yeah, I think that's what makes you a good teammate, and I don't think anybody's trying to be alpha. Like everybody's trying to be a good listener and be there for your teammates. It's how do you find the balance of doing both? How do you speak up and be a great leader, but at the same time, how do you listen and how do you get better? And I think it all speaks to like the relationships that you have with your teammates. Is like you got to go out of your way to build those. So when something goes wrong or you have to hold somebody accountable, they know it's coming in the best interest of the team. So I think it just starts with building relationships, getting to know your teammates, but at the same time, we have so much great personality on this team. That's what's going to make it fun. That's what fans are going to love and to watch about us. We're going to have a lot of fun playing basketball, and you embrace that about your teammates as well.
Do you feel that just 2 days in, that the personalities come together on this group?
Yeah, I think the vibes are really good, and that's what's really fun about it. Obviously we're probably not in the heat of battle yet. I mean, we're out here competing with one another, but at the same time, everybody's here supporting one another and having fun and enjoying it. And I think that's what's cool about it.
You did so many unique things.
Go. You can go next. Got you. Go ahead.
You did so many unique experiences this offseason. Did any one or two stand out to you about things you were able to get done and be a part of?
Oh, good question. Man, I went to the Masters, so that was pretty cool. It's on my bucket list of sporting events that I've always wanted to go to, and I was gonna go last year, but it was just too close with the turnaround of camp and the draft, so that was really fun. I think the aspect of nobody having their phones, that was really cool. People have to come up and be like, hey, you have to actually have a conversation with people that you like, so that was really fun. And you don't want your phone either. You're just sitting there, you're enjoying a sport. I think sitting on the 18th green Sunday at the Masters is one of the coolest things ever. Everybody's watching the leaderboard change in real time, and honestly, with how that round played out, with how Rory, had a 4-stroke lead, then Justin Rose took the lead, then it was tied. Getting to watch that on the leaderboard and then them come down 18. I don't know if anything will be able to top that, but I got a few more on my bucket list. So I'd probably say the Masters, and man, I did a lot of fun stuff. But yeah, that was cool. Yeah.
Speaking of your off season, did you feel like you were able to kind of just get a mental break, mental reset after such a whirlwind of your first season?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I love talking to you guys all the time, but there was a point where the line had to be drawn. So I'm glad to see you all back here, but it was nice to get away from everything and just kind of be able to live my life as a normal person, enjoy things that I love to do, cook, bake, be outside, go watch other sporting events, see my family, just be Caitlin and enjoy things that I really enjoy. And don't get me wrong, I loved basketball and, having the spotlight and playing with my teammates, that's one of the most fun things in the world, but at some point, we had a great year, and eventually getting away from that was really healthy for me, but it came to a point where I was itching to get back in here after a month, so I'm happy to be back at the same time.
Stephanie said this weekend that this is the most talented roster that she's seen the W put together. How do you assess that when you look at who's around you?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of talented teams in this league. I think our talent is in a variety of ways, where you have a young group of players that is really talented. Then you have the veteran leadership. You got Sid, you got DB, you got Tosh. Then you got Soph and Lex. And then you look at people that may never step on the court that could be playing on other teams, possibly even start on other teams. So it's going to take a lot of selflessness from everybody, but at the same time, when you win, that's what's fun. And nobody cares about their personal stats. Nobody cares about how many points you scored, how many rebounds you had, how many minutes you played. Everybody's going to have to give a little bit, but that's what it takes to win. And Steph has preached that since she's got here in Indy, and I think the people that they've brought here to Indy too embody that in everything that they do. So we're excited.
Do you feel to walk back in here and get going with the team, and after everything was off season and being back here?
It's been great. It's been exciting the entire off season, really having players in and out, and getting a head start on some of the things that we want to implement, but more than anything, a head start on building relationships. So it's been great. We've had 2 really good days, competitive days, and we're doing our best from a coaching perspective of trying to put them in positions to be successful and build our rotations. Thank you.
Steph, what have you tried to emphasize? What has been the key talking points throughout the first couple of days and really throughout this week?
Well, I think the first emphasis is defense, really, and making sure that we understand the expectation on that end of the floor, and how we want to play, the physicality with which we want to play, the mindset, how we want to be on the defensive end of the floor. And then I think offensively, it's just being creative, learning how to make plays. It's understanding that you can be in any position on the floor. That we want to be truly positionless, and then how do we put one another in positions to be successful? What actions benefit your teammates the best? And then learning how to play, making mistakes, and self-correcting when we are making those mistakes in live action.
You said this weekend that this is the most talented roster you've seen in the W history. What do you see? What makes it that way?
It's the most talented roster I've been a part of.
You've been
I've been a part of.
Excuse me.
Yeah. Not I wouldn't say in W history. There have been some pretty talented ones. As far as the teams that I've coached in the W, it's the deepest, most talented roster that I've really been a part of. I mean, we've had teams where we've had 2 or 3 that can really play, and then you surround them with a lot of great role players. But I think as far as you look at the depth of this roster and the opportunity to play with a lot of different lineups and play a lot of different ways. And so again, for us as coaches, it's how quickly can we build rotation, how quickly can we find out strengths and weaknesses of who can play well together, and the different types of ways that we can play on both ends.
Stephanie, why don't you use the word grace in the huddle at the end right
Yeah.
there? How do you kind of give everybody the balance between staying intense but just taking a breath here in these first few days as you learn each other?
Well, I think one thing is any of us who have been around for a long time understand that player-led teams are the best-led teams, right? And the ability to hold one another accountable, to be held accountable, and yet give grace when we know that we're going through all these changes. I mean, we have 5 returning players. Everybody else is new. We want to be able to give grace through our process of accountability, to understand that we're growing. Like, we're not anywhere near where we're going to be when it comes time for the playoffs, and every single day we've got to grow through some uncomfortable things. And so to hold one another accountable, to hold yourself accountable, to be held accountable, but also to give grace throughout this process and understand that we are learning as we go.
What's it been like?
Be a little uncomfortable to know that it's working perhaps?
It has to be uncomfortable. Winning is uncomfortable. It's hard, and so we have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. We have to be able to keep our focus on where we want to be, but also understand that it's not linear, right? That it's not linear.
You've seen Caitlin play a lot, but what's it been like to pick her brain? And also to your point about grace and
Yeah.
competitiveness, she walks that line probably in a bigger spotlight than most people.
Yeah, I mean, I think first and foremost, one of the things that I knew about her from afar, but just seeing it on a daily basis is the way she works. I mean, we talk about work ethic a lot, but work style is another thing, and she doesn't waste reps. She literally does embody the how you do anything is how you do everything, whether it's a ball handling drill or a shooting drill or setting screens. I mean, she approaches it with such a discipline that she doesn't waste time, and I appreciate that. And so it's been nice and refreshing being in the gym with her.
To piggyback off of that, the talent you have around her, obviously a lot of veterans with championship experience. How much do you think just knowing what it takes to win will help elevate the entire roster?
And that's huge. I think I've said it probably ad nauseum. Like, they don't know what they don't know, right? And nobody does. Life is a great learning experience for all of us. But having players who have been in here who have won championships, on the sideline and in the locker room with them. I mean, Natasha Howard's won 3. Certainly think of Sig Colson has won 2, and DB's won championships. Breon January and Karima Christmas have won championships. So having those players alongside her that can help guide and understand what it takes on a daily basis, what it takes on a play-to-play basis, whether it's something as simple as letting a call go or letting a play go and moving on to the next, or whether it's something as important as when we're watching film, what are we watching? Right, we're not just ball watching, we're watching all the little nuance that comes along with trying to get into our action or trying to be in a defensive coverage. So it's really important, and these guys have lived it, and so they're going to be great resources.
I find it challenging that you're new, a lot of the rosters new, the front office is new, and almost a blank slate in a way that is advantageous when you're trying to build something.
I don't know if I'd say it's a blank slate because a lot of us are so familiar. When you think about Kelly and myself and Bree and Rima and even Austin, really, I mean, he was one of those practice guys wearing the white jerseys for us for such a long time. So I think it's a different kind of slate, right? It's almost we're in a springboard to where we want to get to. There's a comfort level in understanding expectations, but we're all different than we were, 10 years ago or 9 years ago or however long it was. And Amber's been around. And Amber knows. She's been in a lot of different organizations. She's experienced a lot of different things. So, I think there's a comfort with that. But we're also continuing to challenge one another to get better and to strive for more.
In what ways do you think Caitlin will be a better version of herself just after having 7 months off to take a breath and really be mentally prepared for what's to come this season?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, just the mental and physical break. It is. I don't really, admire the college players that have to come from playing a 40-plus game college season to then having to come straight into the W. It's physically grueling. It's mentally taxing. Let alone what Caitlin's had to deal with. I think it was great for her to get a break. I think it was great for her body, her mind, her soul, probably. And then it was great for her to get in the weight room. I think that was one of the first things that she noticed was just the physicality in this league is different. And so being able to address getting in the weight room, getting stronger, being able to stay on balance, better, time under tension, all of those things, core stability, all of those things. And then to be able to get in the gym and really hone in on some nuance of her game that's going to help her get to another level.
With Dewana coming in here as a 15-year veteran, just how have you seen that leadership come along really quickly?
DB is vocal. She might not say it in front of the masses, but she certainly is going to bring the team together and bring players off to the side and talk to them about what it takes, about the little things. She's experienced a lot of different things, whether it's been teammates, playing with some of the best in the world, franchises, coaches, all of those things. And so just having her wisdom, having her knowledge, and having her mama bear personality. I mean, it's so important because she understands, how to hold you accountable, but she understands how to love on you too.
How important was it for Caitlin to be in market with the staff throughout this
Yeah.
year? You guys got in, were able to get in the gym, but how beneficial was that? Just being new to each other.
I think it's a huge advantage for us. Certainly because of the way that she can get in not just in the gym to work on her game, but to understand what we want in our system, right? To be able to work with Keith. Keith understands our actions. He understands how we wanted to cover Caitlin, a year ago. So what are some of the things that we would challenge her to work on? And then the expectation of like this is what we're about. Whether it's offensively, defensively, this is how we want to work. I mean, it aligns anyway. She's that type of mentality and that type of player. But to have it reinforced daily, I think was a great advantage, not just to her, but to us.